after so many weeks of works that didn't seem to go forwards because there was so much sanding and varnishing and painting and sanding, varnishing, painting, and some more sanding, more varnishing, and more painting, we finally reach a point that we're gonna do something exciting again. We're going back to building. Ladies and gentlemen, meet our new brother! We are Ben and MP, and this is Sailing Yabá, where we get to share a dream boat being rebuilt.
Thanks to simple tools, ancient knowledge, and an amazing team of carpenters, our once wrecked schooner is being brought back to life.
So this is our original rudder, our old rudder, and at first we were thinking about saving it, just cutting the parts that were eaten by worms out, making a bacalhau, how we call it in Portuguese, like a patch, and keep going with it. But we said with Ben, let's analyze the rudder. If we have to do more than 3 repairs, then we're gonna make a whole new one. And we counted at least 5 spots that needed to be repaired. So this old rudder is not gonna stay with us. We're gonna have a brand new one because the rudder is something really important and we don't wanna play with that.
So this large piece of timber is, this board is 15 centimeters thick, about 60 centimeters wide, and about, what did I say? Nearly 6 meters long. We don't need all of it, but we're still gonna try and use all the rest. So that's gonna be the kind of long part of the rudder, the long wide part which is going all the way up to the top of the boat. And this is gonna be the little flappy bit, the actual lower part of the rudder, which is going to be underwater, which is going to be attached to the side of this, which is going to make the boat steer. And this is actually going to be the extension where you can attach a tiller, an emergency tiller up on the top in case we need to. First, this is going to be flipped around. I'm going to be careful with my toe so I don't lose my nail again. It's actually smaller than the piece that I dropped on my toe, so it should be alright. But anyway, a little system's being made so we've got more leverage, and then we can bring it over into the workshop. Or actually no, we're going to cut it and bring it into the workshop, start making it look nice and like a rudder.
R$3,90, é isso aí então. Bom dia.
Bom dia.
Esse é o leme. Esse é o no barco.
You saw that big wood was almost 70 centimeters wide, 15 centimeters thick, and almost 6 meters long. We needed all of that, but just half. We didn't need the 70 centimeters. Not even half. So this that's left is not gonna be wasted. The wood shop just came to pick the rest up to give it to someone else who needs it more than us. Of course, we know the whole fiber needs to be redone because we have a couple of infiltrations that are making rain out inside. But the foot of the mast is something that we still don't know how we're gonna do for it to stop cracking, because the mast has a movement and the fiber is around it and it always cracks. So if you have a good tip for that, let us know, because we really don't know what to do on that part over there so we can stop having cracks. Unfortunately, we are already almost at the end of the main works, but we still find chocolate cake sometimes. As you can see here, this is not healthy. I'm short so I cannot reach it, but there, it's very soft. And what I find very crazy about this piece is that it's one whole piece around the mast. So it was really put when the boat was built around the mast and then nailed onto the roof, I believe. So now we're gonna cut it out, remove it because it's rotten, and then of course we're not gonna make just one piece because we cannot bring it from the top, and we also cannot put it from the bottom. So we're gonna make two pieces and attach them together, and they'll be healthy and not rotten.
So have a look here. Wait, hold that.
Woo!
I've got it. So this is going to be replaced anyway. The mast is a bit like humid on the outside, but we can let that dry and hopefully, well, it's not going to be bad. But as you can see, the planks up here. See if I can take this piece off for you. Oh, look at that. Some more chocolate for you, MP. So that plank is going to have to probably be replaced up to the middle of this beam, all the way over to here, which has to be done before we fiberglass the ceiling anyway. So we're going to look at the top later and remove the little ring that goes around. And then I think we're going to have to find a good way to keep it watertight, or maintain it well, because I don't think this has ever been maintained. Both things, we're going to find a good way and maintain it well, but this has to come off first.
Okay.
Ah.
Woo. So we're gonna replace the mast holder and also the ceiling plank, of course, because it's very rotten. But the mast is perfect, so actually this is good news. In case you're missing the chocolate cake days, here you had another one, but you can also always go back to our old videos and enjoy the chocolate cake with a glass of milk. So happy to see that the mast was in one piece that I was not really bothered about the rest of the rod, but actually now that I'm looking at it, it kind of sucks. The roof of our house was rotten, now we have to replace it. It's not good news, but it could be worse, so it's actually kind of good news. While Ben is down there working on our new rudder, I'm here working with some destruction of rotten wood. It really feels like the beginning of the work day, so we were cutting the planks out while the other one was filming a new frame coming in. So yeah, I'm the one who's stuck with destruction today, and it's kind of nostalgic. I'm gonna enjoy this moment because I hope this is the last rotten piece of the boat. here, as you can see at our mast, we got the new pieces done. We have 6 pieces of wood. It should have been 3, but because now the mast is in place, we cannot bring everything from the top nor from the bottom. We made every piece in 2 parts so we can put them together. So here, the biggest one is actually the support of the mast, is the thickest one. I think, is it 10 centimeters? So yeah, very thick. On top we have the board of the roof. It's exactly like the other boards that we had on our ceiling. It's a bit slimmer, like this one over here. You can see that it fits very nicely. And then those two that make a ring around their mast. How sleek is this looking? While we progress with the mast support, Ben progresses with the rudder.
If you're wondering what that second piece is over there, what I've actually just made doesn't steer the boat. The part that's being made now does. So what's going to happen is the kind of the bottom part that goes under the water, which actually pushes water side to side to make the boat move, it's going to be fastened onto the vertical part that goes all the way to the top. The main reason we have that is just for the emergency tiller and to fasten it to the boat, but the reason it's long is for the emergency tiller. Now these two are going to be fastened together and the shape of the rudder is going to be drawn and designed and cut out of both. So then that is still based on the measurements of our previous rudder. This is longer than it will be, but not much is going to be cut off because we do want to have that security to have a bit above the rail into the aft saloon area for the tiller.
Só vazou porque eles viajaram e deixaram a torneira aberta. No meio do navio. Neguinho. Aí. Vê. Prender aqui, ó, botar uma paninha aqui para você prender aqui, ó. Aí. Esse aqui. Não. Esse ali é o jeito, é só para... Toca aqui. Aqui tá.
Over here, almost all the drawings have been made onto the rudder. This is a little sketch that's been made, a template to make the little curves go all the way around and make it look nice. And then It's going to be lots of cutting, planing, sanding to make this all very smooth and to allow the mounts to fit nicely onto here as well, because they have to sit inside the wood to make sure they don't move.
rudder. It's looking more and more like a rudder. We still need to finish doing this curve over here, making it look nice, the corners, blah blah blah. Attach those parts together and go outside.
And make it look nice and aerodynamic. And sand it and paint it. and go and eat.
I think I skipped a couple of parts. I'm
and
hungry.
eat.
Let's go. Thank you so much for your donations on PayPal, Jurgen and Roman. And for joining us on Patreon, thank you so much, Pierre and Marco.